Hey everyone, Mystical Old Tavern here, back with another video. Well, excuse me, I got a phone call here. Let's see. Hello? Oh, 2016. Yeah, that was. Yeah, it was like 10 years ago we talked last time. Yeah, how are you doing? Uh, what do you mean you want your gameplay video back? What do you mean? Yes, I do unironically gameplay videos like this 2026 because I'm tired and lazy and I like playing video games, so here we go. But either way, we're here to talk about something that have been bothering me for a while and something I saw right now as well. So there are gonna be two things about this video I want to talk about. First is this tweet I saw from Grumps, and if you don't know who Grumps is, I'm jealous of you. Can you please switch brain with me? Because this guy is literally an skid mark of the internet that want an Gamergate 2 electric boogaloo. Because not enough people were hurt in previous Gamergate. He is the kind of guy that want a new like fucking crusade against quotation mark the wokes and everything. So you understand what he kind of person is, because he did write this tweet. So I gotta put it up here and read it out as you do.
If reporters were honest,
I have no idea how he sounds like, so I'm just gonna go with what I think he sounds like based on how he writes and everything. So bear with me.
they would be looking at their own citizen states and doing what Nick Shell is doing. They would find scoops everywhere and get tons of views. But they don't do it because they are not real journalists. They are propagandists.
Yeah, I assume he sounds like an cracked up golem or something like that. But either way, first of all, the idea that calling Nick Shirley a journalist is laughable. And if you want to know more about this video that Nick Shirley did that Grumps is hinting towards, our friend the Bluebird, Jose, have made a phenomenal video about this case and in general something that you should take a look on, and he gets in more in depth about the entire thing and just how ridiculous it is, and that Nick Shirley is more of an lobster that had gone through a lobotomy and stuff like that. You know, it is like seeing a card house just collapse at the slightest breeze as soon as someone is challenging him. And of course, it is just hypocritical of Grumps calling every other reporter propagandist while thinking Nick Shirley is not, when he literally is sharing propaganda that Nick Shirley have done that have been boosted by the president, by any far-right lunatic you can imagine. Everyone have been spreading this fucking video about how the Somali community is taking over Minnesota and shit like that. I'm pretty sure no one have been able to avoid that thing. And that is literally, by all definitions, propaganda at its finest. And I don't mean that like it's a good thing. It sucks that it happened and people take it without any kind of critical thinking. I don't expect any critical thinking from Grumps and people like him, because they're barely not thinking. I'm actually surprised that they are not classified as zombies at this point. And of course, all the reporters and stuff like that that is propagandists that spread propaganda, of course there is. But claiming that they are not real journalists and not knowing the difference between journalism and propaganda, I mean, it's obviously a big difference in that, but Grumps doesn't care about it, because either it is propaganda, whatever the left is saying, and journalism, whatever the right is saying. That's the kind of game we have seen from the far-right fascist playbook forever now, and it is been going on with the fake news. Every time you report on something that is saying anything bad about their dear leader, Donald J. Trump, that it's fake news, it's propaganda, it's made up or whatnot. We have seen that spiel going on forever. And this leads to something that I want to talk about as well, and that is skepticism. Because I have a varied family, like most people, you know. We have people with family with a very diverse sets of politics and views and stuff like that. And I've been talking with some of my family members, and one thing that I found over and over again is that they don't trust media. They don't trust anything that they see. Like they're skeptical to anything. And I think in general, being a bit skeptic, that is a good thing. You know, we need to be careful because they're pumping out so much random shit. Now we have AI as well. They're false news. They're clipping together whatever. You know, it is good to be skeptic, to be in a mind that like, is this really? And then maybe do some more digging to see if you can find out more about the thing you're seeing. Like that is a very important thing. But the thing is that these people, as these family members I've talked to, let's call them Dave. We're gonna go with Dave. That Dave don't trust media if it's not media that already prop up his beliefs. He loved to watch on TikTok, he watched Facebook, he watched YouTube. That is literally the media he's consuming because he doesn't trust, state media or whatever. And then he's seeing whatever they say and do on TikTok, for example. Anyone that has been on TikTok knows what a hellscape that is these days. I mean, I guess it's always been, but it feels like it's most likely worse now. And it's literally what I call skeptic poisoning, because they don't believe in anything other than the things they already believe in. So if they see something that says like the left is terrorist, they believe that without any doubt. But if there's anything that says like the right is terrorist, for example, I mean many of them are, but yeah, they will say like, nah, that's fake news, And now they have obviously a very broad spectrum, whatever. But either way, the thing is that these people don't want their views challenged because they don't think whatever they're thinking is wrong. And that is something that I find so insanely hard to deal with, because I've been trying to talk with these people over and over and over again, and it is like trying to talk to a knee. It just doesn't cause anything. And the only thing that happens is that it causes a reaction. You're talking with a knee and suddenly it kicks at you like, bah! It's getting pissed off because you're trying to challenge them. For example, one discussion I had with Dave is about Israel's genocide of Gaza and the Palestinian people. He, of course, doesn't believe that it's so bad. And every time, you talk about Palestinians or Gaza or anything, he always brings up Hamas. Hamas is the baddest of the bad. And I'm like, where do you get that information? And he said, like, Israel, they have shown clips of Hamas taking out people and shooting them on the street. And I reply with, but there is lots of videos and pictures and everything of IDF murdering Gazans. There are plenty of that. And he's like, but yeah, you can't trust that because, Hamas. And I understood right then that I can't change that mindset. And it's so frustrating because he have decided he trusts Israel, for example, in this case, their media and their propaganda, and don't want anything challenged. Anything that goes against what he think is right, and that's a heavy quotation mark on right there, he refused to accept any changes in the mindset. And I think that is what makes it so fucking hard to talk with these kind of people, because they are always on the offensive, And when you're pushing them too far, they just move the goalposts. And because that leads to another thing, because that led to a discussion, because, as I said, he doesn't trust in the media. So but we have Al Jazeera here, for example. They have done plenty of good stuff here. And he replied with that Al Jazeera made this horrible mudslinging and staining of Sweden. We are from Sweden, so he is very nationalist, you can imagine. That, said that the government here literally took and kidnapped immigrant and Muslim children and sold them to wherever. And I got confused about that because, okay, he claimed that there was a documentary that Al Jazeera had made, so I did literally a quick Google about this. Searching Al Jazeera, the documentary Sweden, immigrant children, and stuff like that. And instantly got up talking about this documentary, which was literally not what he said it was, because it was talking about how immigration courts and governments in not only Sweden but in Europe in general are way quicker to take an immigrant child from their family than, for example, like a Swedish kid from their Swedish parents and all of that. And that was what it was about. It was to bring out that into light. And the government here in Sweden had come out with that stern, like, no, this brings bad light on Sweden and whatnot. Like, yeah, you do that pretty good, Mr. Prime Minister, I'm just saying. But then under that, I saw controversy. And when I read that, it was literally talking about how a group of people here had created this myth and falsehood that the documentary was talking about how Swedish government were stealing kids, immigrant kids, and sold them and stuff like that. So that was what literally he had fallen for. And I told that to him. Did he accept that he had been wrong and been corrected and thanked that? Of course not. He just moved his goalpost and said suddenly like, well, immigrants are, they're raising their kids differently. And then I was like, okay, you know what, I'm done with this, and left, because there is nothing that I can say that changed his mind. And I'm just getting so tired of this kind of thing with this kind of people that supporting all of this madness. And hello, Shanli Maquette, what are you doing? Yes, I'm trying to record here. And that really sucks. It's just really, really hard to deal with. And yeah, I just want to talk about this skeptic poisoning that, or you can call it selective skepticism, that you're only skeptic against anything that is on the left, because that's generally how it seems to be these days from these right-wing nut jobs. But yeah, I just want to have a talk about this. And yeah, I just want to talk about this. And Shanli, please behave. So yeah, thanks for watching.